Hello guys, it's Friday night, so let's talk about something a little bit morbid, extremely unnecessary, but at the same time very important. And these are losses among Russian military officers in Ukraine. My video was inspired by the research and article in BBC where they state that Russia has lost more than 3,000 officers. In general, they are approaching a deadly number of 400,000 lost lives, and among them 3,000 top decision makers of Russian army. This is huge. And let me tell you more why it is so important for the future Ukrainian victory. My name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight against Russian propaganda and fake news. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. A kind reminder, before the start of brutal, violent, unjust and totally unnecessary Russian invasion, I was a peace-loving citizen who hated learning something negative. But since the start of this war for Ukraine, it's an existential fight. Any neutralized invader is good news for me. And yes, all Ukrainians start their day with reading these numbers on our news web pages. It's more important than the weather forecast. And it's terrifying that Russia is ready to sacrifice 400,000 lives, 3,000 of their top military officers, for nothing. And any sane army would have stopped long ago. But they are ready to sacrifice and we are ready to stop them. Any moment Russia can finish this war and Ukraine cannot. Because if we stop, we're dead. If Russia stops, that's the end of the war. So, 3,000 officers. According to official data, that is difficult to verify, though, the number of Russian generals neutralized in Ukraine ranks from 10 to 20. That's a lot, but we all know that Russian generals are not actually decision makers. They are old alcoholics, brought up on Soviet army standards, and the ones who say, yes, Putin, and always agree with whatever he says. But real war is the responsibility of their officers. People who were prepared to kill, loot, destroy, people who were brought up in hatred, and people who control all the special military operations. They are here in Ukraine as invaders, they are on the ground, and they know how this war develops. They are dangerous and bad people, but at the same time, they are military professionals. We all know that Russia has 140 million people and it's ready to mobilize as many as it needs, but at the same time, they do not have that many professionals, if they do have them at all. Remember to subscribe, demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine, and watch our way to the victory, which is inevitable. And losses among Russian officers and generals is a symptom of the victory coming to Ukraine. So, they can mobilize people from prisons, from depressive regions, performing Putin awful social clinics, which remind us 40s or 30s. That's actually a deadly technology that he uses to various depressive regions, and especially not very Russian peoples and indigenous peoples of Russia. That is a separate topic, and hopefully Bashkortostan and many new republics will join the protest against Kremlin. But all these people newly mobilized, they are not professional. They do not know how to fight. They do not know what to do. And Russia has not that many educated, trained officers, and already 3,000 of them died in Ukraine, which actually beheads Russian army and makes it more and more vulnerable. We already see that their air defense is not working. We already see that they do not know how to fight on the territory of Federation. They did not expect explosions and destructions to come on their territory, but war always returns home. And now they are losing these professionals, managers of army, if it's possible to say, at a very high speed. 3,000, that's a lot. They don't have that many of them. They have lots of, I am sorry, orcs that they are ready to sacrifice, but not that many like lord orcs, or how do you call this? Supreme orcs who are developing the tactics and planning operations. And in general, what will happen to Russian army in 10 years, in 20 years? Will Russian army exist at all? I don't mind if it will not. So, an answer to trolls that will definitely come at that video stating, what about Ukrainian losses? Well, first of all, these are not losses. People who sacrifice their lives for their motherland are heroes, and they protect the land. They die for their motherland, and this cannot be called a loss. Loss is something unnecessary, wrong, and these are deaths of Russian soldiers who come here to destroy independent and beautiful country that simply wanted to live within its legitimate borders. And they have to understand that they choose their destiny when they agree to come and destroy Ukraine. And that's why I speak about their losses in a positive mode, just as your grandparents or great-grandparents spoke about their victory in the Second World War. I know you understand me, and let's hope that more and more positive updates will come. And at a certain moment of time, people inside Russian Federation will start protesting more actively against this unnecessary losses among Russian population. Remember to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons. Also, I'm very active these days on Instagram. I have threads and Twitter pages, and also a Discord community. All the links that you need are below this video. And in our merch shop, we have a beautiful collection of new t-shirts that tell you more about Ukrainian months. And the names of Ukrainian months are very unusual and different from the majority of European languages, so go check and get ones if you like. And they also work well as conversation starters. Remember to join me tomorrow for a live stream. And also I plan to show you one beautiful interview with a very good person who saves a lot of beautiful fluffy creatures in Ukraine, raccoons involved. Thank you so much for your support, kind words, and Slava Ukraini!